I cannot believe it. Season 6. How did I make it to season 6 with these group of people? I do not know. I know I was the only one here for season 1 and 2 and 3, but 4, 5, and now 6 is think it's going to be something little special. So why? Because these boys gonna do their thing this year. That's why I said what I said. I got my big baby. Welcome back, my friend.
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Here back in the New York area. Happy to have you back. Not having the scary darkness that you used to experience when you was down south. We get to have you up here, so certainly a good thing for all of us. So welcome back, my friend. I got my Susan over there with properly situated with the hat. You know, this little upgrade from last year. You know, gotta check the background of seeing, as you know, when we was on the pandemic, everybody was checking everybody's background. So that's the appropriate thing you have to have for this thing. And I don't know what's going on with over here with Crystal. I don't see nothing representing over here, so that's okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get there. It's
But I will
yeah.
say this: the fact that you incorporate your name into the whole thing, you know, it highlights your true fandom. So we appreciate that. And so
Thank
we
you.
happy to have everybody back. We're not gonna keep everybody waiting. I'm gonna kick it off with the one thing that everybody wants to know right now. How many wins we gonna have this year,
55.
Susan?
Ah, that sounds good.
No, no,
I know it's
no,
gonna be
no,
over. I
no,
know
no,
it'll be
no,
over.
no,
Okay,
no,
over
no,
50. I'll
no,
give you
no.
53. I'll take 53. 50,
Sound good,
53.
sound good. You
That's
guys
my
take
number.
a stand. They stand on business, right?
53.
Big baby. Now I know
53.
you're
I'll
gonna give
take
us
it.
drama with your number. So
No, I would say,
you had 4 months to think of this number.
well, see, before I say what I think, let
When do
me
you ever
just
do that?
let me just tell you what I'm basing it on.
Okay, okay,
If
okay.
if if they do what I hope they do, they should win 60 games.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they probably won't do what I hope they will do,
Mm-hmm.
which is when Robinson comes back, play him next to Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I would go with 52. 52.
Mm. 52. Okay. All right. At the end of last season, I said 55. That was before any of the changes went through. With all these changes, I'm not moving off my 55. I'm staying right there. However, I did do a win loss, and it came back with what Big Baby said, 60. So I'm sticking with my 55, but I can clearly see it getting to that
That is
60. But
great.
I'm going with my 55. That's what I think they're going to do with all the things that can happen in the season. I think 55 is a number that they could actually hit. And
But
if they go beyond that, if they are healthy throughout the whole season, I see 60 as not being a problem.
Mm.
but but they have to play, and I shouldn't say Robinson. They have to play Cat at the four.
Mm.
Hmm.
I mean, don't necessarily have to be Robinson at the five, but they have to play Cat at the four because we're gonna get killed at the four with especially like with Boston, Washington. These guys got these these guys who are 6'9", 6'10", and they are tremendous shooters, slashers. Yeah, we have OG and we have Mikhail, but at we won't be able to go up against these guys at the four position. That's where we're going to get killed at. And if we don't play cat at the four, I can really see it being unless for some reason somebody steps up and just has a tremendous year at the four. Like maybe OG, maybe. I just can't see. I see him more as a 3, not a 4. But that's just me.
You see
Well,
how you just keep saying
so
OG?
so he been babbling on the mic right now. So
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
as I say, he's the Babylon MC.
I didn't know he was a rapper.
Oh, Glenn.
But no, I hear what you say. So let's see if we can wrap this in a little bit different way. The team that was in the end of last season is not the team that's here right now.
Oh yeah, we
No
know
way,
that.
shape, or form. No way,
Definitely.
Heart
shape, or
is
form.
broken.
Thank
You know,
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it totally from the Bridges trade, no, from the draft. I didn't know what they were doing on the draft. Come to find out, it was all part of
Playing.
the part of the part of the, yeah, part of the plan to make sure that they was able to get it to a certain number. Now, they worked their thing to get it there. The Bridges trade totally flipped my world. I didn't expect um Hartenstein to get that much dough. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
I know he was going to get, to the max of what the Knicks could offer him, but I didn't think he was going to get double what the Knicks was going to be able to offer him. That was woof.
Rough.
But I guess, to make him move, you had to put that number out there.
You know he's hurt this year already, right?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I saw.
Really?
Yeah, Tips. He worked
Yeah.
through Harvard Tips, as somebody said, right? Tibbs already got him on the injury list.
Yeah, yeah, he'll be out to December.
Yeah, he hurt his hand some way, shape, or form.
I'm sorry, but didn't the Chua get injured too?
Yeah, he hurt his
Who?
hamstring. Yeah, yeah. Yesterday's
And he played
Friday's
so well.
game.
Who?
Chua.
hmm
Two.
and
They
so
said he's out for 4 weeks.
yeah, so he's
Oh,
gonna be gone for 4 weeks up to that time point, and then so then and then right after the Hartenstein move, you know, all the whole summer going through with the what they going to do with Randall,
Mm.
and I did not think that trade was going to be made. I was not the biggest Cat fan. I didn't think he was a New York player, but after seeing that Mitch was not going to be here, I can see why they put the pressure on making that move. I understand that. It came at a cost of my boy,
Mm.
Did he?
Mm.
you know, came at a cost. I really
That
did
hurt.
love.
That hurt real
That
bad.
I
hurts
love
so
Yeah,
bad.
that hurt
watching
real
him.
bad.
And it's funny because as I said throughout all last season, that was the guy I saw at Villanova. That guy,
Yes.
Yeah.
that brash, hungry competitor. That's what I saw in Villanova. But I guess they like talent more than they like DiVincenzo. So
Mm.
it is what it is. So we are what we are right now. And hate to see Shamit, get himself injured like that. I was actually at that game, humble brag. And
Yeah.
um when I saw him reach out and his arm went into a funny way, I was like, "Ooh, what was that?" I
Mm.
didn't expect it to be I didn't expect anything of it beyond that, but he was on that floor for a minute, and I just like that really hurt the bench because I like what they was actually building on the bench right there. We ain't seen them in the preseason, but it is what it is. So it puts us in a little situation, but at the end of the day, we gonna make it do what it do. So getting to your point, Glenn, Cat at the 4, I can see that to a certain extent. Um, but I'd rather have not him at the 4. I'd rather have Precious at the 4 and Cat at the 5 because it still keeps him the way this team is going to be playing, keeps him still out. Not post base, and they're going to go all in on Brunson being the dominant ball handler and him doing his thing, finding his little niche, which is fine. It's gonna make it do what it do, but to make that be more effective, they need to have that open lane. So I see Precious being more of that 4 than Towns being that 4 because he's still going to be able because he gonna have to move a little bit too much on the perimeter for him to be that way. I can see him in more risk of an injury, him being on the 4 than anything else, than him being at the 5 because he has to move too much. But I agree that's something to where we definitely to figure that out. But the way they're gonna position Brunson, he's gonna be with the ball the whole time,
Mm.
and making it seem how it's going to go, and
Well,
that's what it's going to be.
they run a really. Now, of course, I watched the preseason games,
You did?
and
Wow.
they really run a very nice pick and roll
Mm-hmm.
to with Brunson and Cat. You can
Mm-hmm.
definitely see um that's going to be something that's going to really be difficult for teams to defend
Mm-hmm.
because Cat he has his offensive ability is limitless. The guy is really good when it comes to scoring.
Mm-hmm.
He has good hands. He's a good passer. You know, he catches it well. He has a good handle. Everything that's needed for someone to score, he has it. And so when they run that pick and roll, or even a pick and pop, because he's such a good shooter too. So I can see that working out pretty well.
Yeah, I would agree. One thing to pivot on that point, as you talk about those two in their game, the other two, those wings, OG and Bridges in the preseason, man, those long arms.
The defense is incredible.
That defense, them
The defense
arms,
is incredible.
they are totally disruptors. And to have 35 minutes a game of that, that's going to be something serious between the two of those guys. And you just hope that from an OG standpoint, he doesn't find himself in that injury scenario that he has been over the past few years. But definitely, if we can get him at that 65 plus game scenario, I think whew, we will put ourselves in a big, really good situation. Because Bridges, he don't miss a game, so we his skinny self, he ain't no bones to break on that.
No.
So he, he gonna he gonna. But the weird thing about Bridges is that that shot been ugly since college. We know that, but I
Mhm.
remember seeing him in the championship game with Villanova, and just watching him shoot. I'm like, oh, it reminded me of Bill Cartwright. He got that when
Oh,
Bill Cartwright
Yeah.
used to pass,
Ingram.
and he tapped the ball on the top.
You
It
know,
reminds me of that shot.
what's funny,
Mhm.
Trevor? I was trying to think about who he looks like shooting the other day. He looks like Bill Cartwright shooting. He does.
Mm.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
He got that same.
Mm-hmm.
It almost looks like his hand is almost crooked,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it goes in.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been going in the preseason. That's my only concern. They haven't really shot well. Now, for whatever, could be just be they get limited minutes. They're not really going through the flow, whatever. It is in the preseason they didn't shoot well, from that standpoint. The starting five. You look at their 3-point shooting numbers. It wasn't great for the preseason, but overall they performed very well, specifically on the defensive end. And that was scary to watch that.
Yeah.
I mean, see how he was picking pockets, just playing straight up D, right? Oof, I was like, man, I hadn't seen that in a while. So
But
the potential for them to be disruptive on the defensive end is definitely there.
but you gotta remember too, they have not been going up against the Boston's and Philadelphia. We playing Minnesota's second team, and you playing the Washington Bullets. No, not Bullets. Wow,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You
the
go,
the Washington Wizards. Man,
Wizards.
I'm
Big
an Asian
bullets.
myself, right?
They're the bullets.
Um,
I'm like,
wow. I've heard of them.
wow. Um,
Wow.
it's hard to really determine um whether they're gonna be that much of a shutdown defense. I think they are, but I guess it's, I guess I'm a little
Now,
concerned a little bit, but
you sound like me last year.
Oh,
well, I still think Boston's the
Not for,
team to beat.
you sound like me from last
No,
year. I
no,
was the
no.
one that had to throw
I
the
I
negative
won't.
on there.
No,
That
no.
was
I'm not.
me.
I'm not being
It's just
negative.
preseason. They didn't play nobody in the preseason. That sound like
I'm
me from last
I'm
year.
I'm not
Yeah.
being negative. All I'm saying is that I know both of them are great defenders. All I'm saying is that I I I don't want to get caught up in the that they are great defenders when they're not defending anyone. Let's see what they do against Brown and Tatum on
That's the
Tuesday.
first game. That's the
Yeah, that's
first
the
game.
22nd.
That's
It's
the first
coming
game.
up.
So
Mhm.
as much as you keep saying what you're saying, that still is a chapter out of Trevor's book from last year.
Mm.
I'm trying to change my tune this year and
Well,
not
change
be
it.
that guy.
Well, you can. I'm not. I'm listen. There's
It's
nothing.
this is nice, but this is nice,
There's
but
no. There's nothing on earth that can make me want to sound like you.
Oh,
So
well,
you
I'm
need to
not
Drink
get
on
my
Earth.
that.
I'm
coffee
already up
when
here.
it's cold.
I'm already up here. So I'm not on
But
Earth anyway,
I'm
so it don't
I'm
matter.
just I'm just saying that we have to see how they. I know they're going to do well, but if things go the way I think it's going to go, because everybody's talking about Philly, I don't think Philly is going to be that much of a challenge. To be honest with you,
mm,
I think Boston is going to be the team to
of
beat.
course. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you have so I want to see how they even if they lose against Boston on Tuesday, I want to see how they play them
Mm.
and what changes will they have to make down the line because we good well we're not worried about Washington, we're not worried, we may be a little concerned about Indiana,
That's their second game.
Yeah,
but
that's
we're not worried about Washington. We're not worried about the Miami. We're not worried about the
the heat.
Magic.
Got the heat coming.
No, we're not worried.
I hate about
No,
those.
Boston's the team that we're gonna have to beat. So we got to see how they match up against them. That's all.
Mm.
That's all I'm
I
saying.
I hear you. I hear
I'm
you.
I'm definitely not
I
being
hear you.
negative because if you win, let's just say for argument's sake, they win 52, 53, 55 games, and then they wind up playing Boston, and Boston, let's say Boston wins 57, 58 games. So Boston number one, they number two, and things happen where it happened last year, and they do get a chance to play Boston. I want to see them what they have done in order to beat Boston. That's what I want to see.
Okay. So what I've learned from last year is to no longer say that Tibbs cannot adapt.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
hmm I'm not even gonna say the reason why I'm jumping off that. I'm not even gonna go into that. I'll just leave it. I'm just leaving it there, keeping it at
Okay.
that point. Since he's already set the tone that he can now adapt. The fact that Leon has gotten him so many different skill sets on the roster, I feel confident that they will be used in whatever way that the coach feels necessary. So I'm gonna just keep it there. Let that as way and as hold the Tibbs him be able to adapt and utilize all of his knives that are in the holster. So that's one thing. My biggest concern when it comes to this year is making sure that they beat the teams that they are supposed to beat because every single game is going to matter. But from
Position.
a position standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
and so those teams that they supposed to beat, they got to beat. They
Mm.
can't take any. And I know that Tibbs is going to keep them on that road because that's what happened last year. They got to the point when they lost all those guys, they were able to play hard and still put themselves in a position to win, and that's what resulted in them getting 50 wins last year. So I can see that, but they have to beat those teams because when you look at when they go to the West, that West is deep. So if
Mm.
they come out 15 and 15 in the West, it's going to really if they're going to hit that 55 win mark. That means they got to win 40 wins in the East, and to do that, they got to beat the teams in the East that's necessary.
Mm.
So that's the route that I'm thinking of how they're going to get to that 55 marker.
Can I
But
tell you?
mhm.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead. No, finish. Go ahead.
Can I tell you my concern?
Mm-hmm.
Two, turnovers
Mm-hmm.
and the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because a lot of times their turnovers were in the fourth quarter, and that's what caused them to lose their games.
Mm-hmm.
Games that they should have won. especially last year. So that's my concern. Turnovers and the fourth quarter. Let's see.
I can see that. Now, we have different people handling the ball now. So it's still a matter of can they still produce effectively in the
Yeah,
fourth quarter?
They should be a little bit better in the fourth quarter if even if Jalen is not in there, because you have Payne, who's actually a pretty good backup point guard, and you also have that kid Kolick, who's he's actually pretty good ball handler and
he's a
pretty
point guard.
good.
He's a true point guard.
Yeah, he's a true point guard. He's I'm not saying this because he's a white guy, but he reminds me so much of the guy
Big
from
Nash.
Utah who played with
The Nash.
no
Stockton?
no
Stockton. Oh,
Stockton.
okay.
Oh, Stockton.
Just looks. I'm not saying
Okay.
the game,
His
Trevor.
game. Okay.
I'm not saying the game. I'm just saying
I'm not jumping at you.
his because every time I mention something like
No, don't even try it. I don't do. I've calmed down.
but
I've taken a note to calm down. I've been told to calm down.
When I watched him, because when I watch a basketball game, I don't just look at the guy with the ball. I look at the guys who don't have the ball, and his head's always on a swivel. He's always looking to see what's going on. He's always like looking around, even when he doesn't have the ball, and that's a sign of a person who knows the game. And he's I'm of course he's going to have to learn defense. He gets beat a lot on defense. And that if you got a good first step, you can beat him for sure. But I can see him helping out in the fourth quarter. Maybe not in the beginning of the year, but as the year goes on, I certainly can see him. I can see him contributing to that as well. Because you can even play him and Payne together. If you really wanted some ball handling, because Deuce he's not a great ball handler. He's actually has become a pretty good shooter though. Surprisingly, he's become a pretty good shooter, but his ball handling is not as proficient as other guys.
So it's funny you said that, because I was thinking this after Dante was traded. In my mind, I have to try not to force those who are on the team to beat Dante or to play Dante's way, because Dante's style of play can't be replicated by anyone on this team. And as I was watching some of the games in the preseason, I was getting mad at McBride because he wasn't playing like Dante. Because there were opportunities that he could have taken to where Dante had the freedom to do what he wants. He still plays with a level of caution. He doesn't have that freedom or that permission to himself to do what he wants to do in the court. And so that aspect of it, so whenever he shoots the ball and he misses, I get really mad, because that's the only reason why you're on the court in my book, because you have shown yourself to be a good shooter. And since you're not doing everything else, when you got a chance to shoot the ball when you're open like that, you better make it. So I'm watching the game the other night, and I'm like, he was like 3 for 10 from 3, and I'm like, I'm getting really mad at this. I'm like, come on, dude, this is the only thing you get. You're getting 10 shots, and you open. You better hit those shots because we're gonna miss out on 300 threes this year because of what Dante being off the team. So you get these opportunities, you better hit them. So it's in my head, I gotta take a step back and not get myself emotionally connected in that particular way. But that's my feeling when it comes to McBride. He and he has a great opportunity, but don't thrust this opportunity into the garbage because you're not hitting what you're supposed to be doing. Don't be a Grimes of last year, basically.
They had a good write up on Tyler. They're saying he's considered to be a good basketball player. He's a great playmaker with a high IQ. He's a proven scorer, which means he's consistent, right? And he's a fearless leader. and proven winner. So that's some good things about him. Let's just see.
Oh yeah.
I can't say I
Tyler's
really
good.
know about him. So
I watched him in the Big East tournament last year. I didn't watch all of college basketball last year, but I watched the Big East tournament, and I watched him in Marquette, and I was like, this kid knows how to play.
He was memorable in college. He was memorable.
Yeah, he
played well.
This kid
His
know how to
name
play.
was out there. Yeah,
he knows how to play the point. I'm like, I was watching. Whoa, I was like, okay.
He's very smart with basketball.
His energy level stayed up the whole time in this last game to me. So you're gonna need that, even though they lost by 1. Very frustrating.
Yeah. And what I liked about him is that even when he was pressured, he wasn't afraid of the pressure.
Yeah.
When they picked him up full court, he wasn't afraid of that. You know, so I'm saying he's a point guard.
Well, you know, I think he did 4 years in college.
He is 4 years of college, yeah.
Yeah. That has a lot to do with it too. You know, that's a lot of experience right there. And the Big East plays big too. It's yeah, I can see. And Tibbs, Tibbs generally does not play rookies, but he may switch up this year. Who knows?
But we'll see what happens after this preseason, because they don't ride the bench again.
Yeah, we will definitely see on that front. So I'm hearing 55 from Crystal to McNick. I'm hearing 53 from the Susie B, as she say, not Susie Q, the Susie B.
Yeah,
and I'm hearing, and I'm hearing what again from the big baby?
82.
Oh, get out.
No, I said 52.
52.
I said 52.
All right, make sure I wrote that down.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
55.
I would like 82, but I'll take 52.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think anyone has ever done that. No, that's not going to happen no time soon.
I wrote it down. It's written down.
I still can't believe it.
I hope they don't trade. I hope they don't trade Robinson. I really do. I hope they don't trade this kid.
You know, it's
I'm
funny.
Sorry, I wouldn't mind.
Oh,
sloppy,
really?
Sloppy.
Well, talk your talk then. Talk your talk then.
I'm just like, I want to see.
Sloppy Robbie.
He's sloppy. He falls on the floor.
Sloppy Robbie.
Up. It annoyed me beyond compare.
Oh,
it was always a shovel to me. Not saying you have to be neat and all together, but just that he didn't have it together to me. He was a big man. They need a big man, but he wasn't doing his thing to me. And then you get injured. It was a quick injury. He was like, to the bench I go.
You know,
let's see. I wait.
Susan, I agree with you.
Wait and see. It's very sloppy play for me.
I don't like to see him on the floor.
Robbie.
Yeah, when he gets on the floor, it's like a 5 minute. You just watching your clock. Still on the floor.
Yeah, I don't like him on the floor. That's something that burns me for a big guy like that, because too much stuff can happen, you know.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that they're gonna keep him out till he's fully healthy. You know, keep him out to the All-Star game. Keep him out to the All-Star game.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
that's a lot of money that's sitting there.
But Susan, one thing you gotta understand though, his defense is incredible.
When he's in.
When he's in. That's right. When he's in. He has to be able to run down the court.
Well, he has the first and second year Mitch is not the year 7 Mitch.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have that level of flexibility because he's been hurt a lot. So
yeah.
I don't know what to say about that, but outside of that, but he's learned how to stay out of foul trouble. When the first couple of years he couldn't, he just pure on athleticism and trying to block everything, which was a good thing to see. But his wherewithal on the game on the defensive end has definitely improved. But it means nothing if he's sitting on the bench because he hurt. So I'm on your side.
Or sitting in the hospital.
Okay.
I guess you're right, Susan, to some degree. Hey, what do you think about that kid? I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. The center Hulk.
Hawk Porty.
How you say it?
Hawk Porty.
Hawk Porty.
Yeah, Hawk Porty. Yeah.
What's that? Ariel? Is his first name
Ariel Hawkporty.
Like in.
Let me see. Is that the one who looked like he's 55, but he's
No, he
24 out of college? What's that?
He
Let's
looks
say
like
huh?
No,
okay, then
no.
what's that
No,
that he just okay, let me get his name.
No. You
I
might
was
be
like,
right.
he just out of college?
Germany.
Ariel Hawkporty wears number 55.
What do you think about him, Trev?
Please.
Oh, well, it's funny when I watched him in the summer league. I got the sense that he knows how to play the big man position, and he knows where he needs to be at on the court. What I didn't see was the tenacity for rebounding and for block shots. Since he's been in camp and whatever they've done in the leading up to camp, I saw a little bit more aggression in getting to the ball from a rebounding standpoint, and a little bit more ability to be able to block shots. Good. I didn't know he can jump like that. I know he had tore his ACL while he was in Australia League. So to see him get up like that, I mean, we was watching. I was at the game on Tuesday, and they allowed him to play like over 20 minutes, and I'm like, the dunks that he was doing, I'm like, hold on a minute. I'm like, I was jumping back. I didn't know he had that. I didn't see that in the summer league. So to see that now being demonstrated in the preseason, I was like, okay, that's some force there. So I was happy to see that that's part of his game. But as far as his what I didn't see in comparison to what Sims has shown a little bit of improvement in. Sims has shown a little bit more improvement in rebounding. He still loses his way on the floor, but from a rebounding standpoint, he has improved there. Hawkporty just needs to get that level of consistency from a rebounding standpoint. That's what's going to be critical when they get in the game.
Do you think he'll make the squad?
Oh yeah, he's gonna be on the squad. That's a guarantee. He's gonna be on the squad.
Okay,
And
so
if Sims don't get himself right, he will take over. But he's a true center. Mm-hmm.
Now,
You know,
you
Sims
said
is a power
Ariel. I'm
forward.
sorry, Ariel. We said Hawkporty is 24.
Yeah.
Is he? He's really?
For a minute. I couldn't believe I say.
Looked on this guy.
You know, when he was playing, I say
she checked the roster.
But no, when I saw him at the free pointer and it was saying out of college, I said, "What playback? He look like he got this right out of college."
He's not 24. He's 22.
He's 22.
That's even worse, right, Susan?
They look well. They need a little rough. New York, a little rough. Well, I mean, they're not from New York, but they need a little rough.
Don't worry. Just take him down to Harlem. Take him to Brooklyn.
That's why it's okay. He's
from Germany. He's German.
but he just doesn't look like he's 22.
I think he looks older because his hair's not combed and he got the facial hair. He looks kind of rough.
He doesn't. Yeah, but they need that. They need a little rough.
They need a little.
Sims comes in there, all light skin and greased up, and
he got his new hair done. Yeah, he got his new hair did.
Looking like Billy D. Williams.
Hey, watch this. You talking about Harlem? You talking about Harlem?
Attitude, right? If he has Payne's attitude, Payne got a little attitude. Payne look like he got a little temperament. So I watched Payne play. I said that they're gonna have to bring him back to stop him.
Ariel is a Rasta man.
Well, yeah, man. Okay.
A name like Ariel, he has to come correct. A name like Ariel, because all I keep thinking about is the movie.
Yes. Plenty of fights.
Frozen? Was it Frozen? Who was it?
Oh my God. The Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that too, but
What did you think of TJ Warren? What did you think of TJ Warren?
TJ he's a bucket still. He's a bucket.
He reminds me of the guy we had last year that they just left.
He did.
What's his name? He came back. He came back.
He can produce. He looks
well, we thought he was going to be so good, but what's his name?
He was good in the playoffs. He was good in the playoffs,
yeah.
He was good in the playoffs.
Someone say his name, please.
Oh, I can't think of it.
He went to Miami. That's right. What's his name? Oh yeah. What's his name? Oh my goodness, I'm losing his name out.
But that's who he reminds me of.
Yeah, Burks.
Alex Burks. Yeah, Alex Burks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw him on the team when they picked him. I said that's an Alex Burks type of guy. You know, to come
Oh
in
yeah, he's Faye
when you
Holder.
need something a bucket getter. You know, because of what you're missing out on. He's gonna be a pure open the bottle if an emergency is needed. That's what I see him as.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Play solid D.
Mm-hmm.
Hit a couple of free throws and then go sit down.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Give the lineup a break, and then they go. That's right. Go and sit back down.
Mm-hmm.
Get the solid.
Now I'm a little concerned with Hart not shooting at all. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
thinking it's more
fine.
him than anything else.
Yes.
Him trying not to be himself on the court, and I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's taking himself out of the game and not being the game. Because I understand that
You think they're affected by D leaving? You think they're affected by him
no,
leaving?
no,
They
I know
still
they
gonna
didn't
be
explain.
close.
because even
Yeah.
before he was talking about my role was to move the ball.
Yeah.
In some of the interviews he was having, just move the ball, and that's what he was focusing on in the preseason. I'm like, but that's not your game. Your game is still to push it. When you get the rebound, push it. That still is a key portion of the Knicks and how they were effective last year, and he didn't do any of that. He wasn't looking to get offensive rebounds. He wasn't that spark. So unless he was holding himself back for the regular season, I don't know. But
That's what I believe it could be. I'm like I said, I'm a little concerned. So
mm-hmm,
I don't know whether
mm-hmm,
it's that or something else.
mm-hmm,
Um, what happens sometimes, and I don't know whether this is the case, but sometimes some people actually function better not starting.
yeah, I can see that.
Um, they're able to sit there and just look at the game and see um how does fit in when he come into the games, and so that could be the case with him too.
Mm-hmm,
That he's better off the bench. He's more effective off the bench because when you think about it, he actually can play all three of the positions. He can play the four, the four, the three, or the two, and play them all very well.
mm-hmm.
So you probably would want to move him
To the bench.
back to the
Mm-hmm,
bench. So
mm-hmm,
you got that Swiss Army knife type
mm-hmm,
thing. Because if you use Precious at the five, I mean at the four,
mm-hmm,
you can then you really can have a nice little squad with having him come off the bench. That's what I would do.
mm-hmm.
I would
I
try
can see
to
that.
get Hart back to the bench.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I'm not too opposed to that. So it's funny. I wrote down, my starting five. When the trades were open, I had to shuffle everything around because all the players I had, the lineups that I had, all gone. So I wrote down what my starting five would be, and I didn't think Mitch was going to be going that long, but I had him as my starting center and Towns at the four. But now with
I
all,
like that.
with and I'm with you, Glenn. I prefer OG at the three, Bridges at the two,
Yes.
and with Brunson. That to me is the proper lineup. But with where we are right now, I can see Precious coming in and playing that four and Pounds at the five until Mitch gets back. And then, unfortunately, we don't have Precious for the next 4 weeks up to, so that's going to be killer. So we are definitely limited in that way. So we'll see how it plays out. I don't want to put too much pressure on OG. I want him to be more effective on the wing instead of down low with a bouncing up against a big power forward. I prefer him to be used on the wing. That's where his effectiveness is. But I think that's it. That's going to be it for the first week. We're going to keep it at that. Oh no, we didn't get our predictions for the first two games for this week. We got 2 games this week.
Knicks and Celtics and Indiana, right? No.
Yeah, we got the Knicks.
Celtics.
You got the schedule for this week.
22nd, Pacers. Yeah, Indiana.
One
So
and one.
we got this week we got Tuesday and Friday, and so
1 and 1.
I'm going to say, who's okay. Who goes?
all right, the big baby already went. So
Yeah, he went already.
Okay, so
I'll say
go ahead, Susie.
1 and 1, but Chris.
What did you say, Susie Q?
I said 1-1. I would love it to be 2, and they beat
I'ma
the
say
Celtics,
2-0.
but I don't.
I'm gonna say
Go
2-0.
ahead, girl.
All right, you the
2-0?
big gun.
Go.
2-0. I'm gonna say the Knicks are going to win in the last minute, last seconds against the Celtics.
Oh.
And I think they are going to just not blow out, but I think, they have some redemption when it comes to Indiana. So I'm saying 2-0.
Well,
And they are
that
playing at
part is-
home.
That part is true.
They playing at home.
So here's the funny part.
They do want to get Indiana back. You got that right.
Yeah.
I do feel 1-1, but I feel it in the reverse. I feel they're going to beat Boston but lose to Indiana.
Oh.
Let's see.
Okay.
No.
So that's what I have, 1-1. So we'll see.
I don't think Indiana's going to beat them at all this year. I really don't. I think every time they play, it's going to beat them. I really do.
Well, one thing about Indiana this year is they got my guy, Mathurin, who I wanted on the Knicks when he was drafted a few years back. He's a difference maker. So he was hurt last year, so that's the component that I want to be mindful of. But I agree. He put in some work this year, but we'll see how it play out. But that's it. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. Thank y'all for the first week of activity. There are 24 weeks into the season. We are in week number 1. And looking forward to all 24 and see how things play out. 1-1 for this week. We'll see how it does. We got 55, 55, 53, and 52. That's how it play out. It's written down. I still see Knicks at least making the Eastern Conference Finals. And once they make the Eastern Conference Finals, they got to do what they got to do to get it.
Taking it.
That's all I'm going to say. That's my story. I'm sticking with it on the MSG.
All right.